Well, joining me now is Simon Calder, the Independent's travel editor. Good to hear from the programme. Are you surprised by these scams? Have you ever come across anything like this before?
Well, unfortunately, they've been increasing. Now, the internet and travel are made for each other because you are able to connect millions of travellers with millions of flight seats and beds and places to stay and so on. So in theory, it should make life really easy. But unfortunately, it also makes life easy for fraudsters. And what happened to Sean and Laura is all too common. The only unusual thing is that this was actually a Scottish holiday. Most of these frauds, particularly with accommodation, involve properties abroad, and you don't find out till you turn up.
But there's a huge amount of money, £7 million a year. I mean, that's extraordinary.
I think that might be an underestimate, actually, because these are only the people we know about who've come forward. And I dare say there are more people who've just felt really silly because they didn't make the necessary checks and turned up and found that the accommodation they booked didn't exist.
What checks do you do? I mean, it is not impossible to tell whether what you're booking online really does exist or not.
Well, you need to be sensible. You need, for example, if anybody says to you, pay by bank transfer, which is effectively the same as handing over cash, you need to be very circumspect. For example, if you're renting a property in France and they say, oh, pay it into an account somewhere in the Balkans, then you need to think very carefully about that. Always talk to the person you're renting it from, phone them up on a landline, not on a mobile phone, and ask them for references. Any legitimate owner is going to say, of course, that's absolutely fine. But simply do not look online, think, well, that looks great.
Reviews, perhaps? I mean, is that a good way of also having a look round?
Reviews is good. And also anybody who puts pressure on you and says, you've got to book now and we'll give you a special discount. And if you don't hand over the money now, it's gone. Don't be taken in by that.
And if the worst happens and your holiday does turn out to be a scam, can you get your money back?
Very, very difficult. The best way is never to pay for anything by bank transfer unless you're absolutely certain. Use a debit or a credit card. Then if things do go horribly wrong, you should be able to retrieve your money.
Ever happened to you, Simon?
No, it hasn't, although you have to be careful, particularly airline tickets, because these days anybody with a computer can make up something which looks like an airline ticket. Be very careful of that. Deal through people you trust and know, or
and
other people have recommended.
And very importantly, this shouldn't put you off buying via the internet in terms of holidays.
No, but just be circumspect and don't fail to pick up the phone and talk to people if you're at all unsure.
OK, Simon, thanks for those top tips.